tomorrow. Get organized at Voice.
But also my effort to combat the crippling emotional effects of LT.
What's that?
That's long torso.
Oh?
So
It's on your Facebook page.
Check my Facebook page and see if you might...
Or my Facebook page, I shared it.
That's right. Emotional lift, if you suffer from LT as I do. But anyway,
You've been suffering all your life.
you should see my baby pictures.
Oh.
I should be in the circus.
But what you've done with your life, despite these challenges.
You're very kind.
I mean,
Before it's history, it's news.
You know what? Life House has been part of our summer concert series in the past, and they were so good and the reaction was unbelievable. They are back with us live tomorrow. Come on down 48 6th Avenue, 8 o'clock in the morning, free 1-hour concert.
That's right. And some barbecue.
And we'll be back. We're in the same exact stuff tomorrow.
All right, here we go, everybody. Good morning. There are stunning new details.
10 news alert, where a woman was struck and killed just hours ago in an accident in the
Raw Muhammad Cartoon Cartoon Contest in Texas, Garland, Texas. Investigators saying the two suspects were planning the attack on outspoken Islam critic Pam Geller before turning their sights on law enforcement in Massachusetts.
just off of Jomax a little bit. Here we go. We'll zoom in, and you've got the Norterra Park.
According to officials, the knife-wielding suspect, Usama Rahim, had been working on this plan for a week before calling his co-conspirator and relative, David Wright, to change the plan. Here is the quote from the reporting that we've got on this. He said, yeah, I'm going to be on vacation right here in Massachusetts. I'm just going to go after them, the boys in blue, because it's the easiest target, and the most common is the easiest.
And killed her. This remains a very active investigation, even though police were called out here about 2 o'clock this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at some video of the scene. We have
or two, the forecast of possible.
Well, guys, back to
Right, there could be a slight chance of a shower.
Happened just around 2 o'clock this morning near 21st.
Turn deadly. We'll take a look at how it's affecting your traffic right now.
And also coming up this hour, I love this. How about valet parking at Sky Harbor Airport?
La-ti-da.
Yeah, it could soon be a reality. Details coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, let's start off with the very latest on that breaking news. A deadly hit and run. It happened around 2 a.m. in the North Valley. A man and woman were walking.
Was struck. Take a listen.
We do have to. And the man said she was with was not hurt, but the driver took off, and police are trying to track down the hit-and-run driver. We're working on getting a vehicle description for you. Detectives are searching a nearby apartment complex.
Meantime, you're going to want to avoid the area. It's east of I-17 and Jomax. Norterra Parkway is going to be shut down at North Valley Parkway through your morning rush hour. And here is a live look from the scene. Kylie is working right now talking with.
It is open to traffic. However, Norterra Parkway right here at North Valley Road is closed because of the investigation, and police believe it'll be closed throughout rush hour traffic. Back to you.
Anita, thank you. Another Fox 10 News alert to get to you. Another pedestrian struck. A couple was crossing the street in Phoenix overnight at 22nd Avenue and Camelback when the man was hit by a car. The driver took off but called 911 as soon as he got home. No word if that driver will face charges. The victim, meanwhile, is in critical.
The driver involved in this suspected hit and run. What we're going to do for you is walk you through exactly what police are telling us that happened right here on Norterra Parkway. This is the bike lane that I'm standing on right now. This is where the two pedestrians were walking when only one of them was hit, and that was a woman in her 30s. Phoenix police do tell us that she died
In 2012. Yesterday at Camp Pendleton in California, there was a ceremony to honor Jacob and the father.
Back in December for killing his business associate with.
Still under investigation. He worked as a combat videographer, had received several awards. He's survived by his parents and 5 brothers and sisters. The funeral will be at 10:30 this morning.
The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is trying to find the driver in a hit-and-run crash last month that killed a man. The crash on Saraval Avenue near Olive, north of Luke Air Force Base. Anthony Vargas was killed. It happened back on
You're going to want to take an alternative route because this scene will be here throughout your morning commute. Jackie Ochoa, 12 News.
All right, Jackie, thank you. 6:03 right now, and firefighters in the far West Valley are working
to get a taxpayer-paid abortion, Shalise? Anything to say, Shalise?
At a bar mitzvah party is not going to be facing any charges. Now, a grand jury decided that there was not enough evidence to indict Lindsay Radomski. She was accused of sex acts with the underage boys after getting drunk at the bar mitzvah. Her attorney says he's not surprised at the decision. He says independent tests showed that there was the presence of a date rape drug in her system.
21 labs across 17 states are affected, including one that operated right here in our state. Now, the live anthrax.
Today, the governor says he will deliver on that promise when he rolls out a new K-12 funding plan. Right now, we know it involves using
2 Phoenix priests last year killing
on the students.
Whenever we talk about teachers, what we're really talking about is the impact on students. And
Todd and Melissa Hughes are facing nearly 3 dozen charges each.
And tries to steal a lady's purse outside of McDonald's. Police make an arrest in the case. This as the victim reunites.
High to a greater degree and at a greater pace than any time before. Criminals are selling those stolen drugs. There are turf wars happening, which are
goes and does the work in Iowa or New Hampshire on the ground and catches fire, and I wouldn't discount the idea that that's Rick Perry this time
I
around.
mean, when you look at Iowa, though, there are a lot of candidates out there, Rich, that could be very attractive to Iowans, and it just makes me wonder, you know, you feel like once you get
that day, but I wasn't going to let it happen. Really, really mad. I couldn't describe what I was going through. I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
And it was out of nowhere. So to me, for him to have done that, it was like I could never think.
For him will take place at 10:30 this morning at Christ Church of the Valley on Pima Road in North Scottsdale. Interment at the National Memorial Cemetery of Arizona follows that service. New information as investigators say the man behind a terror plot to kill police officers in Boston also wanted to behead a jogger. The 26-year-old has been under 24/7 surveillance, and on Sunday, agents overheard him planning that beheading. He then changed that plan to attack police. That's when they decided to just confront him. That happened Tuesday. He drew a knife, and that's when he was shot and killed. Agents believe he was inspired by ISIS. The fight against ISIS has killed more than...
He could barely move. He was taken to the hospital.
Deputy Secretary of State, but that's not as impressive as it may sound.
Taking action to get real answers.
The Guadalupe fires burning in rough
strategy. Let's move to that for a moment, Rich. He's now saying and tweeting in Spanish and in English, you will hear from me on June 15th. What do you think of the strategy so far?
Well, he's concentrated mostly on vacuuming up money, and we'll see the real number soon. By all indications, he's been very successful on that metric. But when it comes to actually appealing to voters, he hasn't been very successful yet, and he's just one among many in a very crowded field. We're seeing nothing like front-runner numbers in these polls for him at all.
Sorry. Okay, anyway, let's move on. One group wants voters to put
is virtually null.
31 lab workers are being medicated as a precaution.
Bacon.
Let's find.
This cap referendum would block the Arizona Board of Regents from increasing tuition by more than the cost of living. And if lawmakers further cut universities' budgets, it would...
Student. Emails exchanged between the pair made it clear that they had been engaged in sexual acts at least 2 times. A new report showing Phoenix is one of the top cities with the highest number of people who are killed by an officer. So far this year, 6 people in Phoenix have died at the hands of law enforcement in some sort of encounter. That's tied with the city of Houston for the 2nd highest number. Los Angeles has the most deaths by officers, with 9 so far this year. 4 of the incidents here in the Valley involved Phoenix police officers. The other 2 involved a U.S. Marshals task force. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office says in the past 5 years, nearly 90% of those suspects were found to be armed, on drugs at the time, or with gang affiliations.
We always like to tell you when jobs are headed to the Valley and available and more.
Here on Today, we're looking at only 90
around the state and
overboard in a line. Now, meanwhile, Jim, Bob, and Michelle say they were devastated by the reports.
It was so important for us.
At a Phoenix mosque, and
it also gets in, they could soak up just 40% of the vote, just sort of naturally, with anti-Hillary protest vote, with just really out there left-wingers. And why not? Why not get in? And this is the best publicity the metric system has had in a very long time, so maybe he's moving the needle.
I can see the T-shirts already. Go Metric with Lincoln Chafee. Rich, thank you very much.
Thanks, Martha.
My teachers at Our Lady of Victory, they'd vote for him.
Every year.
One of Rick Perry's biggest supporters is joining us live next hour here in America's Newsroom, Taya Kyle. The widow of Navy SEAL Chris Kyle will be there at the event today, and she'll join us as to why she's supporting the governor from Texas. Hillary Clinton has a bit of a big launch next Saturday, June 13th.
Randall's Island.
It is no coincidence that Jeb Bush, I believe, is announcing 2 days after that. I think he's been waiting for her to make it official, and she will on Saturday. Jeb Bush follows on Monday.
I don't know how much these announcements even mean anymore, honestly, because the way things are so protracted. I mean, it's early in the game, obviously, but people hear, oh, I'm running, I'm thinking about being a candidate, and I think people assume, they're in. They're in until they say they're not.
We'll cover it coming up later. Rick Perry here.
So reporters saying that the government is blocking them from getting information, sometimes for years in some cases. Congressman Jason Chaffetz spoke out on this very strongly yesterday, saying that stonewalling will not stand. Watch this.
I'm telling you, we will drag the IRS up here every single week if we have to. You are going to respond to the United States Congress. You are going to respond to the American people. You work for the American people.
You know what? I believe him. He'll keep dragging them in front of those panels. Congressman Chaffetz will join us next with some incredibly brazen attempts that will shock you, actually, to stifle the United States press.
Also, those accidental anthrax shipments went out to
and be adopted out.
You're watching Fox 10 Arizona Morning with Ron Hoon, Rick D'Amico, Andrea Robinson, Kristen Anderson, and Corey McCloskey in HD.
Right now, after the break, an amazing story of survival out of Washington.
Starting to see some yellow pop up valley-wide, mainly on the I-10 inbound from.
All right, we've got some weather changes coming your way. Not just going to be hot and dry. We'll show you what we're tracking coming up next.
Awakening.
In central Kansas. Punished. Am I right? Temps today, not so bad, about where they ought to be, but we've got some changes coming of all kinds. Details coming up. I'm Jude LaCava. One of the most storied golf championship trophies in history. The U.S.
Effectively relieves pain, warms icy feet, soothes and moisturizes. Get relief with triple action Carousel Neuro Cream in the